Hey everyone, welcome back. So for me, the melody, especially in this age of AI music creation that we are entering, is really important. It was already important, of course, but now having an original melody that you have created yourself means that any AI generations you create with it will also share that originality. For those of you who don't care how the melody was made, or you are already confident making your own melodies, you can simply add the instrument and MIDI, which we'll do in a second, and then you can skip on to the next lesson. But I will go into detail about the music theory for those who want to see how my process works within the music theory framework, so you can replicate it yourselves in your own projects. So we need to add a synth called Vital, which is an awesome free synth, and I highly recommend it. I actually use it loads in my own projects, even though I've got some nice expensive synths and stuff like that. I actually end up using Vital a lot because it's so nice and easy to use and it sounds fantastic, and it's totally free. It's nuts. So just type in Vital Synth into your browser, click on the first link, which should be vital.audio. Okay, and then just click Get Vital. It'll take you down the page, and you've got different options for what you want to get. If you just get the basic free version, you get the entire synth, so nothing's really held back, but you just get less presets. You can choose to pay if you want to, but just click Basic Free, enter your details to create a free account, and then if you go to the Your Products page, you'll see the different versions of Vital that you can download. So in this case, we want to download the very latest version. At the moment, that's version 1.5.5. If you download a different version, the patches I give you in this tutorial won't work, so you need to make sure you do get this version at least. Okay, and then download whichever version is relevant for your system and install it. If you're installing the VST version, definitely only install the VST3 version, as long as your DAW supports it, of course. Then go back to your DAW, restart it if you need to, and we're going to add an instrument track. I'm going to add Vital. Okay, it's already selected. Make sure it's stereo, and then add track. All right, so this is the synth Vital. Again, it's very cool. I'm not going to go into how to use it specifically. There is a free tutorial on that, and I'll cover that more because I'm giving away some free sound design lessons with this tutorial that will show you how I make some of the sounds, like the bass line and the lead sound. But as we're progressing through the tutorial, I'm just going to stick to adding the presets. So to do that, we go up to the hamburger menu and we go Open External Presets. Then you want to navigate to wherever the tutorial download is on your computer. Go to the work files, go to Vital Presets, and in this case we're going to load the simple piano, okay, which is just a sample of a piano with a load of reverb on. That's all that is. Okay, and then we're going to close Vital. Now it's put my Vital channel right in the middle of everything else, so I'm just going to drag that down to the bottom there so it's underneath the drums. And as we're not sort of working on the drums at the moment, let's make them a bit smaller. All right, so now we're going to add in the melody that I created for this. So we go to the work files, go to the MIDI folder, and we want the main melody, okay? Not the main melody stock, just the main melody. Bring that in. And if I zoom out a bit, you can see that's the entire melody there. Just going to solo that for a sec. It's too high pitched though, so I'm actually going to go into that so we can see all the individual MIDI notes. I'm going to do Control or Command A to select everything, and then I'm going to hold Shift and press my down arrow to lower it down 1 octave, okay? So that changes it a bit. Okay, so that's the melody. For those of you who don't want to know how it's made, or you don't care, you can skip on to the next lesson. For those of you who do, stick around, and we're going to go through that now. So when it comes to creating a chord progression, it really can be quite simple. You just need to know the boundaries in which you can work and understand just the basics of how a chord is structured, and then you can be creative within those boundaries. And it is then relatively easy to come up with a unique and satisfying musical structure. Once you have that structure, you can use that to come up with near limitless amounts of other musical parts. And of course, you can then chuck it into the AI to start creating like pro level vocals, and if you want to generate other musical parts. So you don't need to copy this bit. I'm just going to add a blank bit of MIDI here so I can go into it and show you what I'm talking about. And as I teach in the music theory for beginners tutorial, which is much more in depth than what we'll get into here, but I will still cover the absolute basics, we need to know two things in order to start building a musical structure. We need to know the scale we're working in and how to structure a chord. There is no real rule when it comes to scale choice, but it is certainly much more common for liquid to use a minor scale rather than a major scale. Minor scales tend to have a kind of darker undertone, so it can be a little easier to produce the emotive sound of liquid with a minor scale, but there's nothing to say that you couldn't use a major scale. It's not like every chord in a major scale sounds super bright and happy, so you can make them sound dark as well. Anyway, in this track I did opt for a minor scale. The actual sort of scale you pick, as in if it's C, B, G, whatever, doesn't matter that much. This track is actually using G flat, which in most DAWs, when I sort of draw in the note, you'll see it shows not G flat, but it shows F sharp. That is just how pretty much all DAWs show a G flat. And just for those who don't know, this is the note G, and any like note underneath, any black note underneath that letter, so that's A flat. That's G flat. That's the note E, that's E flat. Okay, that's just how it works. Or if you've got like a sharp, then you'd be like, that's C, and that would be C sharp. It's a bit confusing because that note there can be either C sharp or D flat, but it's the same note. Now, try not to get too hung up on the naming of it. Now, I'm going to do something slightly unconventional. I'm going to stick with calling this F sharp rather than G flat, okay? Just because that is how it appears in the DAW, so I just don't want to confuse people who are totally new to this, all right? It just is the simplest way of doing it. Very quickly, I'm going to show you how to build a chord, and that is a basic triad. Now, in order to build a triad, you need to know the notes that are in a particular scale. So in Cubase, I've got this handy little feature where I've got a scale assistant, it's called, and I can go up here and I can select G flat, which is F sharp. So I can select F sharp and then change this to a minor scale. And then if I hit show scale note guides, you can see that these dark lines and these white lines, which at the moment represent the white keys, are the lighter lines, and then the black keys are represented by these darker lines. But if I click this, it moves them around and it shows me on all the lighter colored lines the notes in this particular scale. Okay, so we've got F sharp, G sharp, A, B, etc. If you don't have something like that in your DAW, it's no problem. So if you just go to your search engine and Google notes in G flat minor scale, or whatever scale it is that you're using, and then the best thing, especially for newbies, is to have a visual representation of this. So if you come down to where the images are shown, like something like this is perfect. I just click on that and it shows you visually exactly all of the notes in the scale. Okay, and then if you want to make things super easy for you, what you can do is add the notes that are in the scale just before the actual MIDI block starts in your DAW, just so you got a reference there. Okay, now let's get into how to build a triad. Very, very simple. Okay, you got your root note, which in this case, of course, is F sharp. And it doesn't matter which note you start in for this. So I'm just starting in the root note of the actual scale, but it doesn't matter if you're starting in C sharp or A or whatever. The same rule applies for when you build a chord. Okay, so what we do, you got your root note, you then skip one note in the scale, and then you go to the next note and draw in your next bit of MIDI. And you do exactly the same thing to get the top note. You skip the next note in the scale, which is B, and then you draw a note on C sharp. Okay. And that is your first chord. Now let's say we want to have a B chord. So again, that would be the root note. And then I skip one note in the scale and then add another note on the next note. And then to get the top note, again, we do that. So we're going up a bit more. So we skip E. And then we go to the next note in the scale, which of course is F sharp, right? So, this sort of pattern here just repeats over and over and over in every single octave. Okay, and then we've got two different chords. And it doesn't matter which note I pick to be the root note, exactly the same principle applies. You skip one note, add a note, skip one note, add a note. That's it. That's how you make chords, or basic triads, I should say. Obviously, when you make a chord progression and it's just in these like super basic triads, it can sound a little bit underwhelming and it's not like that super inspiring. So what we want to do is start sort of messing around with the chords. We can do things like, moving like the middle note up like 1 octave. It's the same chord essentially, but it's just more spaced out. And it gives a slightly different vibe. Bit more epic kind of thing. Or we can start messing around with the notes. So we could get a kind of more jazzy feel by moving up the middle note 1. Or we can start moving up the top note and we can start creating like what's called like 5th chords or 7th chords. Just all have a slightly different vibe to the original triad. And obviously you go through and just kind of modify each different chord until you get something that you're kind of really happy with. Okay, so that's the basic principle, and this is the very basic but essential music theory that you need to understand in order to start building your own chord progression. So what I'm going to do is, just for the sake of showing you what my process looks like, is I'm going to delete that bit there that we don't need, and I'm going to bring in the bit of MIDI called main melody stock. All right, so I'm just going to drag that into the project. It doesn't matter where. You don't have to follow along with this. I'm just going to sort of show my rough process of how I went about going from what are these stock chords. Okay, so these are all the basic chords that I started with. These are all just simple triads. Okay, and I'm going to show you how I went from this to that, which of course is, sort of more complex. Let me just play the difference quickly so you can hear it. Let me drop that down 1 octave as well, because that's a bit too high. You get the idea. Okay, so clearly there's a big difference. This sounds, a bit more epic, a bit more emotional compared to just the stock triads. Okay, so how did I get there? Let's just have a look. Really, when I've got a chord progression in basic triads, all I do is experiment, right? So I don't have any like absolute framework. I don't look at these notes and think, oh, I know exactly what I need to do. I've got to put this note here and that note there and blah, blah, blah. No idea at all, really. All I do is start experimenting with what I've got. So in this case, the first chord went up and became a 7th chord. On the next chord, just got spaced out. So the top note went up 1 octave, and then the middle note, don't ask me how, but it ended up on a B. And all I would have done is literally just experiment with like different notes of the scale until I got something that I really liked. Okay, and then I move on to the next chord and mess around. Now, I'm not saying it all happened in one single go of just going through. It might have been, different iterations, going back and forth between different chords and just trying to gel the whole thing in so it all works. But really, that is my process. The only thing that doesn't change normally is the root note. The root note stays the same, and then the other 2 notes can be messed around with. Or, you can add additional notes in. It doesn't have to just be a, triad essentially. Or so on this note, it's very simple. I just move the middle note up 1 octave. Then here again, I must have just experimented around because that's what I ended up with. And kind of like so on and so forth, right? So like I say, it's not an exact science, but what we are doing is working within the boundaries of the scale, okay? And with the basic principle that we start with a nice easy triad chord, and then from there we can experiment, we can move the notes around, we can make it unique. I won't bother going through the rest of the chord progression. You can obviously see sort of where I'm going with it, how much experimentation is involved, and the framework in which I'm using. Okay, so just using that, you can come up with your own melodies. Now, that's it for this lesson. In the next lesson, we are going to start looking at how to use AI to generate new elements. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.